The Ghoul is one of the three protagonists in the Fallout TV show, and we draw him today in four different styles. The four styles that we have today are neon, realistic, burned, and torn. Let's start off with the neon effect. The reason why I chose the neon or the glow effect is it really reminds me of the Pip-Boy loading screen. So it's actually a really great way to emulate that effect. But how we're going to do this is by adding a nice dark outline throughout the entire section. We want to make sure that this is really dark and really stark by comparison, so that way when the paint goes over the top, we'll be able to see underneath. And you can kind of see after the paint, you can see the faint image of all the highlights underneath, and this is how we're going to apply the paint pen to give this nice glow effect. I like to do my glow and neon effects a little bit differently, so I'll start with my light tone first, and that's how I'm going to outline everything. It's going to be a much bolder outline than what you might traditionally see when we lay it all down, and then we're going to go over with a much thicker, darker outline around the whole thing. The white comes in at the end, and for a very specific reason. We want to make sure everything pops, but what I will do is make sure I go over everything, as you can see here, before I put on the white. That way, the light green really is nice and bold and vibrant, and give it time to dry. So that way when the white is just put on a very faint white, it really gives it that classic neon look and what you might see in the Pip-Boy. So what do you think about this effect so far? Because now we're going to hop into the burned effect. I haven't done this one in a while, and this is a warning. Do not try this at home. I repeat, 100% do not try this at home. I have tried this effect numerous times in the past, and I've also practiced this across several different styles of paper. And the paper that you're seeing this on is a very thick paper. If you use this on regular sheet or regular white paper, then it will burn instantly. This is not a joke. Do not try this at home. I have practiced this many a times. I also wait for the ash to dry completely and cool off before I even try this. Now, getting down to the artistic aspect of what's going on here, essentially all it is charcoal, except the matches are applying the charcoal itself. It's a really artistic thing to try, but if you just want to try it, just grab some vine charcoal or regular charcoal. This is just a way of taking something that's relatively cheap or fairly inexpensive and creating a cool piece of artwork. And I think it fits really well because when we look at the character of the Ghoul, we see that his face is very plasticine, very burned, similar to like Freddy Krueger. It's just got lots of warps because he's an undead-ish type creature that's been blasted with so much radiation that all the hair has been gone and the skin is melted back. So I think the burned effect is just a perfect way to draw the character. We're just going to erase away some highlights as we now move on into our next section, which is going to be the torn effect. And once again, this is another effect that just looks so cool, especially if you've seen some of the later episodes and we got introduced to the Deathclaw. It's the perfect match for what you're about to see. What we're trying to achieve with this effect is basically make it look like as if the Ghoul has lost a round or two with the Deathclaw. We want the paper to look as if it's been scratched away. So how do we achieve that? Well, we want to line up our fingers to where we think the scratch marks come through. Then we can go as artistic or as cartoony as we like. This is one of these styles that I really like, and that's because it caters to all different art skills. If you aren't as artistically inclined, but you're really good at cartooning, then this is going to work great for you because you can just keep it cartoony with some bold colors and some rich borders, and you could just make it the colors really pop. If you want to be a little bit more artistic, you can add lots of layers of paint and paint pens, alcohol markers, colored pencils, and you could take the level of realism to whatever you want. And that is ultimately what I want to achieve with any of the styles that I do, is to show you that you can do it however you want and make it your own. And that, in a sense, is the core of what I like to think art is about, is not just replicating something, but making it your own. And with this effect complete, you can see now that the Ghoul just looks like he was scratched away. But now let's head on to everyone's favorite, the realistic side. And This goes without saying, but I've said it numerous times in my videos. It takes time to achieve any level of realism that is viable. Sure, you might see these videos that say 1 hour versus 10 hours with realism, and yes, you can get something that looks incredibly realistic in an hour. But when you look at some of these other art content creators out there, and there is an innumerable amount of them, you'll see at the end of the videos, they give you an honesty where they'll say 30 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours, etc. Sometimes 150 hours for hyper-realism. And that is because art takes time. There's a lot of emotion in that, but there's also a lot of study to see how the pupils will dilate at different levels of light, how the skin and the pores reflect differently based upon the subtleties of all the angles of light. It's not just something you throw into an AI filter. Yeah, you'll get an image, but it'll lose the life and the essence of what you're trying to capture when you create something that is realistic. So when you approach art and you approach realism, just take that into account. The sheer volume of time that it takes to create something by hand on that level of realism. Now, for this part of the realism section, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take a painterly approach with our color pencils. We layer down a neutral brown layer, but we're going to use a lot of the peaches and the whites to emphasize a lot of the highlights. We're almost going to take a sculptor approach by carving back in with highlights, and that's because he's got a very mask-like nature, like we talked about in the previous section. It's really melted, so we really want to use the highlights to pop in all of the crevices, and then only use the darkest of darks really sparingly. And by doing this, I think this is how we get that leatheriness that his face naturally has. It's a unique approach, and it's something that I just wanted to try. I don't always like doing the same approach over and over. You can get burnt out pretty quickly when you take the same approach, so I always like to just try new things. It doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? It gives you a sense of accomplishment when sometimes you do something out of left field and it comes out really cool. And if it doesn't work out, it's a great learning experience. You should always take the time to learn from your mistakes. It's really one of the fundamental ways to get better, just not about anything really. It doesn't matter, not even art specifically. You learn from your mistakes. It's a fundamental aspect that makes almost us human, is that we learn from how we've screwed up in the past. Something that I really like to do is I like to add black ink over the top of my color pencils, and that really gets the blacks to just jump right off the page. It's only used sparingly though, because I want to make sure that it's only for the darkest of the darks, so that way it really just sinks deep back into the page. And as you're going to see here in a bit, I use paint pens for the teeth. I make it actually yellow, and I think that really quick drying yellow over here on top of the teeth is what really gives it that extra oomph, because I could have used a yellow color pencil, but for some reason that light layer of opaque yellow just popped. This was one of my favorite pieces that I've done in a while, so if you made it this far in the video, please do me a favor, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It helps me out. It lets YouTube know that you really like the content, because this was a blast to do. So I hope you're really going to love 11 from Stranger Things, which is coming out soon, but let me know which section was your favorite. And as always, I shall see you all in the next video.